We have a massive Steelers trade update to go over today as a Pittsburgh Steelers trade offer has been leaked. And following what has been a crazy past few days, past few weeks of trade speculation, an offer has been leaked just a couple weeks away from the trade deadline. I'm going to break down exactly what that offer is and discuss what it means going forward. But not only that, a bunch of other updates ahead of tonight's primetime game against the Packers. And this game has huge implications going forward. And so do these updates in this video. A ton to go over. You're going to want to stay tuned until the end because this trade video is wild. But before we get into it all, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. You guys have been absolute beasts with the support. It truly means the world to me. And hopefully the Steelers can take care of business tonight because, as we know, they need to, right? Obviously, Lamar Jackson is out for the Ravens. The Bengals are going up against a very easy, New York Jets team. Steelers got to take care of business tonight. But folks, a new update has dropped, and if you've been following my channel, I've had a couple of videos on the fact that they are very interested in Jakobi Meyers, and a new report has dropped here revealing that the Steelers, Cowboys, and Bills have all reached out to the Raiders regarding a potential trade for wide receiver Jakobi Meyers per league source. Which we'll dive into the an update on the offer in a minute here, but I want to start with this, folks. So this is another report now revealing three teams, obviously three of them being fairly decent teams, to a degree here, and three of them needing a pretty good wide receiver. And the Steelers, they could use Jakobi Meyers, and I've covered it on the channel a lot, and clearly they are going all out in a pursuit for him. Now, whether or not they get him is still up in the air, but another report came out earlier on that, again, they're scouring earth for wide receiver help. And then Tony Pauline dropped the report a couple days ago revealing that according to Pauline, the Steelers have an offer on the table for Jakobi Meyers. Have also been linked to Jaylen Waddle and Calvin Ridley, who I'll have videos on in the future. I don't think Jaylen Waddle is going to be available, so I might hold off on that video. We'll see how updates develop. Calvin Ridley is an interesting one, but this is a huge report. So not only are they extremely interested as it pertains to the wide receiver, and multiple reports have coincided with that, but they also have an offer on the table. Now, I'll dive into some speculation on what that offer could be and kind of what Jakobi Meyers' value is at this moment. But folks, we don't have to speculate anymore. An offer is on the table. This seems to be their number one target because no other reports have come out, regarding their other targets being, offer via trade and things like that. And it also seems that, the Raiders, they should probably trade Jakobi Meyers, right? That's becoming clearer and clearer each day. But they do have some competition. The Cowboys and Bills, it obviously makes some sense there. And as we dive into his stats here, Jakobi Meyers, that is, he's been really, really good. Obviously had his best year of his career last year, best season rather, 1,027 yards. This year, with pretty poor quarterback play, still is at 329 yards in 6 games. And if I sound like a broken record here if you've been following the channel, there's not a lot of receptions to go around on this team. I'll probably dive into a stat here in a minute about how rough it actually is. They will have to get Jakobi Meyers involved if they accept this offer, right? If the Raiders accept the offer that is proposed here. But at the end of the day, Jakobi Meyers is a great route runner, would be the best route runner on the team, and will complement Calvin Ridley, would complement DK Metcalf and Austin very, very well. And I think that's kind of what they want right now. And they clearly don't have a ton of faith in Roman Wilson. And Meyers, for his own right, excellent route runner, reliable at the catch point, and has the versatility to contribute from the slot and out wide, which is crucial for this team given their wide receivers right now. With those traits, the veteran wideout probably wouldn't have too much trouble earning Aaron Rodgers' trust as the number 2 in this offense, and he would be a high-end number 2. It's almost like a 1A, 1B. Obviously, DK Metcalf, a bit more proven, has had many more 1,000-yard seasons and is very good, right? He is their number 1 wide receiver. That's why they traded a second-round pick for him in this past offseason. That being said, something crucial here. He will have to earn Aaron Rodgers' trust, and that's something that I think can happen. But like the way this offense has been playing under Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin is that they haven't really been throwing the ball to like one player a lot. There hasn't been a lot of receptions to go out there, and that could be a concern for any wide receiver that they go with. But in the same vein, I love Jakobi Meyers. If you've been following the channel for a while here, he's an absolute beast. He is in the final year of a 3-year, $33 million deal. Currently has 29 receptions. Something to note here, they would have to extend him after this year, but that also, even if they just want to use him as a rental, makes him a lot cheaper to acquire. And that's where things start to get interesting with what he would actually cost because, again, DK costs a second. Like, I don't think it's going to cost a first or a second for Jakobi Meyers. Yes, there might be teams like the Cowboys, like the Bills that are willing to pay a lot. I think that the Steelers can be right up in there with some of those teams regarding an offer and have an offer on the table. Now, it hasn't been offered or accepted yet, the offer, but you can see here, just to put into perspective the amount of targets that go around, the Steelers wide receivers, all of them together, have 62 targets, and Jamar Chase has 58 catches. 7 individual NFL wide receivers have more targets than the entire Steelers wide receiver corps does. And their core is pretty good. Obviously, the Steelers wide receiver, at least they're a couple. I mean, they're one, right? Their guy, DK Metcalf. This is a serious problem, and I'm going to dive into it in a future video. Let's see how tonight's game goes before any major problems are brought up. But like, they're looking at a receiver. You have to actually make him work. Now, the Steelers are atop of the AFC North, all these different things. We can see here at the bottom, Dan Wilkins of The Score predicted the Steelers would acquire Jakobi Meyers for a 4th-round pick in next year's draft, 2026. And this is where I want you guys to leave a comment down below. I mean, I think for a 4th-round pick, it is an absolute highway robbery, right? Like, there's no world where this team should. I mean, that's probably the offer on the table, 4th or 5th-round pick. You do that every day. Now, yes, you could argue that he could leave in the offseason. He might not fit the team well. You look at the stat that I just brought up about their wide receivers not getting a ton of looks. I don't care. Go out and make this trade. You are trying to maximize your window with Aaron Rodgers right now. Yes, he wants to play with the Steelers next year, but let's see how this year goes. First, you have to win the division. It is very winnable, especially with Lamar Jackson and that debacle about him being a full practice participant and going down to limited and being downgraded there. They should get fined for that. People are talking about getting their 1st-round pick removed. Regardless, take care of business on your own turf. I would do this 10 times out of 10. Let me know down below if you guys would, because we know Meyers said that he wants to leave and he still wants to get a deal done with another team. Now, would the Steelers be a great team for him? I think it'd be pretty good. Again, the targets are the worry, but if Antonio Brown, shout out to him, AJ Brown rather, is not going to get traded. Former Steeler Antonio Brown. AJ Brown is not going to get traded by the Eagles. That came out last night. So what that means is you have to pivot. Now, I don't think they were ever super heavily involved in A.J. Brown. It obviously would have been an interesting, not Cinderella story, but a very interesting one. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. Their offer's been leaked. Speculation about it being a 4th-round pick. I'd probably do a 4th-round pick in a heartbeat, but let me know what you guys would do because they are trying to get a lot of different guys, including Jaylen Waddle, who, again, I will have a video on. Now, let's pivot to tonight's game against the Packers. You can see here, TJ Watt on the Steelers defense being key this week. Stop the run, stop the run, stop the run. Their run defense has been bad. Their cornerback play has been bad. It's been a mess. Obviously, they got back to Sean Elliott last week. He didn't look great, but again, it didn't look terrible. I mean, their wide receivers got cooked. Darius Slay, Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey especially, could have argued, lost them the game against the Bengals. It was a collective. TJ Watt, he didn't look great last week either. Like, regardless of that, you're paying the defense hundreds of millions of dollars. Stop the run. You're going up against a very good Packers team run by Matt LaFleur. You have Jordan Love. You have Josh Jacobs. All these different guys, right? They're going to try to run the ball. This is their chance now. If they can go out and win this game, vibes will be decent again because this would actually be a primetime game that Mike Tomlin wins that is actually high pressure because, again, you can never assume anything in the NFL, but you can assume that the Bengals are going to beat the Jets. I mean, they're running Justin Fields without, Garrett Wilson, any of their receivers, right? So the Jets are probably cooked. Lamar Jackson, he's not playing. So the Ravens will probably lose. You can gain a game on the Ravens and hopefully stay, middle or stay, I guess, a game, 1.5 games up on the Bengals. This is your chance to go out and win, and they have to go out and do it, folks. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this. Things are picking up, and they're picking up quickly. Calvin Austin's available. DK Metcalf. Everyone's going to be good to go. Zach Frazier's questionable. The center. Hopefully they can win tonight. We should have a post-game video on that. You guys have been an absolute beast. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.